Hello everyone. I can't believe it, but it's snowing in Atlanta today, but I thought I'd share a few comments after looking at the first couple of modules. First of all, let me remind you that in a doctoral program, there's really one thing that counts. If you want to graduate with a doctorate, you're going to have to satisfy your committee. And what's a committee going to look for? They're going to look for, the first thing they're going to ask is, so what? Tell me why this research is important. What gap in the literature does this fill? How does it add to the existing body of knowledge? Tell me something about your methodology and why it's valid. What is the underlying theoretical framework that it involves? So you have to go beyond asking simple questions. You can't ask out of the blue questions. You're trying to make incremental progress to the body of knowledge that's out there. That's important with doctoral research. So nothing you do up into the point of the final project really counts for much, except you want a reasonable grade so you can get to the final conclusion. But any kind of critique you receive on doctoral level writing, you should take that as important feedback that will inform you when you get to the final stage and you're working on your final doctoral project or dissertation, because that's where the rubber meets the road. If there's any evidence of thinking that's not fully formulated or unclear in some way, it's best to understand that early, or else you're going to go round and round in circles in your dissertation or doctoral project committee. Secondly, keep in mind that this course is focused on case study and action research. I'd mentioned in a previous video that often you will find the term case study used loosely as in reference to a general business scenario. It's often used in MBA classes. This is not what we're talking about in this class. Case study research methodology is qualitative in its approach. It focuses on a narrow context. It collects multiple sources of qualitative data. It performs qualitative data analysis on these sources, and I'm talking about interviews, observations, documentary analysis. You perform qualitative data analysis, you perform triangulation, you're trying to find out what is going on here. You're observing and describing phenomena, and it entails a narrow focus, a narrow context. Remember, action research came out of classroom improvement research inside of a single classroom, right? And the case study would be a single operation or a few few operations that have something in common, so you can define them as a case. You don't try to answer large-scale questions with case study or action research. That's the role primarily of quantitative research, where you're sampling a larger population and trying to make inferences about a larger population by the collection and analysis of quantitative data. So just because you see the word case study does not mean it's an example of case study research methodology. These are very different things. The focus must be narrow. It involves qualitative data analysis, multiple sources of evidence, triangulation, and you're trying to observe and describe a phenomena. So be sure to get that straight, especially if you're going to pursue that in your own doctoral study. You'll have to be clear on what it is. And finally, a case study may use some quantitative data, but it's one point of many. And unlike quantitative research, you typically do not use numbers to test hypotheses in a case study or any other qualitative research, whereas you do for quantitative research. Qualitative, observe and describe a phenomena. Quantitative is you are testing a hypothesis and making inferences about a large population. That's all for now. We'll keep at it, and we'll keep talking.